Well, my final announcement this weekend, it's hard to believe, but yesterday actually started, or was my anniversary, I guess, for finishing 4 years as your pastor and now starting my 5th year as your pastor. So yesterday, 4 years ago, was the first day that I showed up at the parish. So there it is. Thank you. I do hope that these last years have been rewarding for all of you as they have been for me. There's one thing that I do want to draw our attention to this weekend that is a significant change since my first weekend when I arrived in July of 2021, and that is the increase in the number of families and children. When I first arrived, I never heard a baby cry in this church. And I didn't see many young families either. I have seen, and I think all of you have seen, the increase in the number of younger parishioners in our midst. In fact, since 2021, the number of those ages 12 and under, known as Generation Alpha as they are called, has increased by 46% in 4 years. Yes. From 183 children to now 252. I pulled the data down just the other night. The highest growth, actually, of any group in the parish is our youngsters, those under 12. The next largest increase was among millennials, those 29 to 44, which account for, they had a 40% growth in the last 4 years, and all other age groups and generational groups had anywhere from a 16% to a 0% growth. So the largest growth that we have seen in this parish are among our youngest parishioners, those 12 and under, and among millennials. And that is something that we should be celebrating and something that we should share with our friends and family, because that means that this parish has a future. And it means that this parish has life. And a wise priest once told me, if you ever visit a church and you do not hear crying babies or you don't see any young families, then that means that the parish is dying. But that is not St. Pius. So with that wonderful news being said, that means too that all of us, we all, not just me, not just the staff, but every one of us, has to do our part to support, assist, and encourage our youngest parishioners, and to their parents, just as we support, assist, and encourage our more senior parishioners by taking them communion and helping them out in various ways as well. And so to the parents of our youngest parishioners, in an effort for the parish to support you, St. Pius does offer a children's liturgy of the Word on Sundays at the 11 o'clock Mass. And in the rear of the church, many of you know, in front of the black gated area, there's a cart with numerous age-appropriate books. I very much enjoy standing in the back of the church to greet everyone before Mass, except for this Mass, because I'm not up yet. But at the other Masses, I greet in the morning and after as well, and I love seeing the youngest parishioners come to the cart. They pick out a book or 2 or 3, they take them back to their pews, and then they return them after Mass. And as many of you know, there's also our cry room, which has 2 bathrooms attached to it. About a year ago, we removed all of the old chairs in there and replaced it with folding chairs so that we could open the room up a bit. And Rob has done a lot of work in the room to make sure that the speakers work so that you can still hear the Mass. And so if our youngest parishioners become continuously fussy during Mass, please feel free to use the cry room or even take them to the rear of the church. I've noticed many times parents taking their infants and children to the rear, pacing back and forth. You all can't see it, I can, and trying to soothe them through their fussiness and irritation. We all know that children get fussy and children become irritated. I'm 44 years old. I get fussy and irritated. Rob gets fussy and irritated, and if he keeps it up, I'm going to take him out of Mass. But anyway, I'm hoping that these resources we provide are helpful to parents of our youngest parishioners, and if there is more specifics, things that we as the parish can do to support you, please tell myself or any of the staff, because we want to do what we can to support the youngest members of our parish community. Now, those are things that the parish can do for our youngest families, but there are things that all of you in the pews can do as well. If you are seated near a family or a parent with children that become continuously fussy or irritated, please, please do not glare at them. Do not tell them to take their children out of the church. Do not say under your breath, I guess they didn't listen to Father's announcement last weekend. And do not tell them that maybe they should consider another parish, which I am ashamed and embarrassed to learn that a parishioner approached a family that's been here for 3 generations and said just that. If we are a loving and welcoming parish, which we are, which is what the surveys have said long before I got here, if we are a family, then we need to do what families do, and that's support one another and help each other. So consider offering to help any of those parents with their kids. Gently and lovingly say, "Ma'am, sir, is there anything I can do to help you?" Further, we have a lot of military families with one parent deployed. We have a lot of good Catholic families with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. And one of the parents is already outside with one of their kids that's fussy, leaving the other parent with the other 3, 4, 5, or 6 kids. What do they do if one of those gets fussy? What can we do? Those are moments of charity and service where we as a parish family can offer, "Can I help you?" If you're comfortable doing so, even suggest, "I'm happy to watch your children here in the pew if you feel you need to step out." But as families do for each other, let's model that in our church by helping each other out, because after all, you could have been in those parents' shoes when you were raising your children as well. I also ask this of all parishioners: if you do not have any children with you, please do not sit in the cry room. Because due to the number of families, based on the data that I shared, we need all the space that we can get in the cry room. Therefore, I'm asking you, please do not sit in the cry room or utilize it unless you do have children accompanying you. Now, I know that some people say that they sit in the cry room because they are immunocompromised and they cannot be around crowds. I get it. I understand that. I have members of my family that are immunocompromised as well. But can someone please help me understand, why would you sit in a very enclosed space with small children if you are immunocompromised? Now, I asked the question flippantly. Some of you are chuckling about it. But with all seriousness, I talked to a longtime friend of mine some time ago, and they were all sick again. And I said, "All of you are home sick once again?" And my friend said, "Sean, I have 4 children. They are walking Petri dishes," okay? So I might get in trouble for that comment, but anyway, I'm just repeating what she said. If you are immunocompromised, the cry room is probably not the best place for you. I want to thank all of you for your attention to this announcement, and I just want to simply offer continued support and love and encouragement to our youngest parishioners, as well as to their parents, and to encourage the entire parish and family community to gently and lovingly find ways to help our families and parishioners, the greatest area of growth of our parish, which means that we have life and it means that we have a future. And not all parishes can say that. And we should rejoice in that fact and do our part to help everyone. So thank you very much for your attention to that. And the next time I become fussy at Mass, you don't have to worry about it. Rob has already said he will take me out of Mass in those instances.